I'm Michael Irving, and I'm your district trainer. My background is I've been in Rotary for about 30 years. I'm past district governor, and I'm excited with the innovations that our district governor Andy has brought in today. Why do we use the term Rotary? Well, quite simply, when Rotary was formed, there were 4 founding Rotarians, and they decided to rotate their meetings between the offices of each of the Rotarians. So hence, it's quite simply that it started off as a rotation, and to rotate you have to have a wheel, and we developed a rotary wheel as our symbol over the last 115 years. So what is Rotary? There are many long definitions, but quite simply it's a service organisation. It's non-political and it's non-religious and it's open to all. But the key thing about it as a service organisation is it wasn't always a service organisation. When Paul Harris and his colleagues founded Rotary, they did it primarily for business networking purposes and also to have fellowship, because they found that there were many professionals in Chicago who lived and worked and never ever met anybody else. They did that through Rotary, but it was a natural process that they then said, well, we should be doing something for the community. And that's when the service projects or the service concepts came into place. So the first thing they did was to buy a horse for the local doctor so that he could see more patients. And then the next project they did was to construct the first public toilets in Chicago.
I need a new one, Michael.
I won't go into that, but not all of us can travel all the time like some past district governors, as you just said. Okay. Now, the Rotary organisation, I've been in universities for far too long in my life, and I've always been interested in organisational structures. And Rotary is interesting. I always find it this way. And I have presented this diagram in decreasing order of importance. And it's also in decreasing numeracy of the number of people involved. Many of you will be used to a management model where there's a chief executive officer who says, you will do this, you will do that, and minions follow it along. Rotary doesn't work that way. The most important people are you as Rotarians. And we work together in Rotary clubs. And the concept of the Rotary clubs has changed dramatically. It used to be face-to-face dinner clubs, or breakfast clubs, or lunch clubs. They used to sing sometimes. Now we have all sorts of combinations, e-clubs. Ian Yarker pioneered the first e-club in our district. And there are people from all around the world participating in Rotary Fellowship as a result of that. So the concept of a Rotary Club is continually changing and evolving. We then have Rotary Districts. Then we have combinations of Rotary Districts into a Rotary Zone. And right at the bottom of the heap is Rotary International. And their sole role, as I'll show you later on, is to support us. But the bottom line is that Rotary International will ask you to do things, but if it's not able to be done by your club, or your club says, well, we've got other priorities, then you can do it, and there's nothing they can do about it. Ian Yark has been practicing it ever since I've known him. But that's the beauty about Rotary. And that is the beauty about Rotary, because out of that dynamic, you are continually evolving and developing new things. We're even going to have a female Rotary International president. And how long has that taken, Heather? Far too long. But the dynamics change because the most important people in Rotary are you as Rotarians. So, briefly about Rotary clubs. They're organisations that have a constitution, and it's important that you be aware that you have a constitution that's consistent with the bylaws of Rotary International, but it also has to conform with the state legislation relating to the governance of charitable organisations. And there are very important things that you do have to follow in terms of your accountability, and depending upon the financial turnover of your Rotary Club, you are often asked to submit audited financial reports at the end of each Rotary year. So that's the reason why we're doing it. But there is state legislation, it's different between Queensland and New South Wales. There is state legislation which mandates there are certain things that you must do if you are going to be recognised as a charitable organisation. And that has major flow-on effects to us, because as we're registered charitable organisations, the insurance policies that we're able to obtain, the premiums are greatly reduced from what they would be if we weren't a charitable organisation. Rotary districts, Rotary clubs are assigned to a Rotary district on demographics, and also these districts can cross state and international boundaries. So there's a Rotary district in northern Queensland that encompasses northern Queensland, Northern Territory and Timor-Leste. There's a Rotary club in Brisbane which encompasses also Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands and Nauru. So you can see that the dynamics of districts have changed quite significantly. Fortunately, Andy likes to drive very fast in his Mercedes, and so he likes driving up to Goondiwindi and Tenterfield and as far south as Grafton and up to Coomera. And our district is probably a little bit better than some of the others in terms of accessibility for district governors. The district governor is elected for a term of office for 1 year, and he or she is the representative of the Rotary International president. In Rotary Zones, we're going down that triangle that I showed you. We have over 25,000 Rotarians in Australia, in 1,055 Rotary clubs. But together with New Zealand, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea and some Pacific Islands, we're members of one of 6 Rotary Zones in the world. And our incoming Zone Director, Jessie Harmon, is the first female director that we've had for our zone. She comes from Ballarat, and she will take up a seat on the board of Rotary International next year. And then we have Rotary International. It's based in Evanston in Illinois, and its function, although they sometimes forget this, is solely to service the needs of over 2 million Rotarians and 31,000 clubs in the world. Now, you'll notice there's a little pointer down the bottom. When I first started off as a research student, one of my professors said to me, "Irving, when you give a seminar, there has to be a take-home message." So if you see one of those, it's a take-home message. And if anyone says, "Well, what did you learn today?" you can say, "Well, one of the things I learned today is that there are more Rotary clubs than McDonald's outlets in the world." So it gives you an idea about our importance and our magnitude as a world organisation. Now, our most important people are our Rotary Assistant Governors. And Andy has really reinforced the role that they are his proxy. When he is not available, you go to your Rotary Assistant Governors. Now, we've got a Rotary District leadership team. Really, these are all part of the coaching team. I felt much better about putting this slide up when I looked at the number of assistant coaches and masseurs and physiotherapists that every sporting club seems to have these days. But this is a team that's responsible for providing assistance to you. The contact details are in the Rotary District directory that you've all got a copy of. And if you haven't, please let us know and we'll get one to you. They're also on the district website. And you can see that the key portfolios are listed there. Administration, club development, David Bagley's responsible for that. Rotary Foundation, youth programs, public image, Gareth is responsible for that. Service projects, alumni, rotaract and interact.